Everyone, thanks for joining me here on the live stream. Just bear with me for a moment while I, as usual, when I start these live streams, gotta send it a lot of places, gotta get my ducks in a row, if you will. All right, I think that should do it. We are streaming live this afternoon on Facebook and on my YouTube channel as well, and in about 20 minutes, 25 minutes, we'll get the stream up live and running on the Storm Tracker 21 app and WFMJ.com/weather. The reason why we're hopping on this afternoon, we've got, once again, the threat for some severe weather. We've had rounds and rounds of this week. We're all getting a little bit fatigued, I think, especially us weather people. It has not been an easy week for us. These storms have been very difficult to time and to predict the coverage of them. This has been a difficult pattern for the computer models and for human meteorologists. We like to try to get as specific as we can with our forecasts. It impacts a lot of people's lives, working outside and that sort of thing. And it's been a challenge this week for sure. We had one round that moved through a handful of hours ago that left behind some scattered wind damage across the area. Now we are in for another round as the atmosphere is destabilized again this afternoon. It is very hot and humid outside. The atmosphere is ripe for more storms to get going. So let's start things off by looking at the big picture. And 15 minutes or so ago, the Storm Prediction Center, part of the National Weather Service, issued a severe thunderstorm watch for all of Northeast Ohio and all of Northwestern PA. This runs until 10 o'clock this evening. I do think the severe weather threat will be over well before 10 o'clock this evening, but it currently is in effect until 10 o'clock. So severe thunderstorm watch for everyone in yellow. That includes our entire TV viewing area, and that includes just about all of Western PA as well. And I suspect you'll see a new watch issued at some point, probably covering parts of Southwest New York as well. But back here at home, we have, as of 4:08, we have no warnings in our TV viewing area. There's one cell that has a severe thunderstorm warning on it that is northeast of Akron right now, and a severe thunderstorm warning is out for Kent and Ravenna and parts of southern Geauga County. In our TV viewing area, we have a downpour moving through parts of Trumbull County right now, Newton Falls, just south of Southington, moving through Champion and into Warren and Niles. And then down in Mahoning County, heavy downpour, some thunder and lightning, Berlin Lake coming into Ellsworth right now up towards Craig Beach. We're getting hit pretty hard, and this extends back to the south and west towards Sebring and Beloit as well. Down in Columbiana County, one growing cell, kind of south of Salem, kind of between Salem and Hanoverton right now. That'll be one we'll be keeping an eye on. Not much else going on in Columbiana County. This activity is growing very, very quickly. The radar was dead quiet 45 minutes ago, and these things are blossoming in a very ripe environment. It is hot, it is humid, we have some ingredients aloft that is helping the process. We have a little bit of wind shear, we have some stronger winds up at about 10,000 feet above our heads that gives a little extra energy to these storms. And yeah, with this kind of heat and humidity, it just doesn't take much to create some thunderstorms very, very rapidly, and they can get very tall in the sky in a handful of minutes. Mentioned the heat and humidity. That's been the story other than the threat for thunderstorms today. Let me actually make these numbers a little bit bigger. Current heat index values at 4 p.m. 96 in Pittsburgh, 97 in Youngstown, 97 in Cleveland. It's been close to 100 down towards New Philadelphia as far as the heat index goes so far this afternoon. So it's brutal outside. And the next couple of hours will be our busy time, and then I suspect the threat for severe weather will diminish as we head towards 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock or so this evening. But the next couple of hours are going to be busy, and we'll keep the live stream going up through probably 5:30 or so, and then I'll have to stop the live stream to get ready for our TV viewers to tune in at 6 p.m. But I'll be with you for at least another hour to hour and a half here on the live streaming coverage. Thanks to everyone for joining in. We've got a pretty good crowd, especially on Facebook this afternoon. We've got a few hundred viewings so far, so thanks to everyone for joining us. And we've had a few of these this week where we've had to do some live streaming coverage. The summer got off to a slow start in terms of thunderstorms and severe weather. We didn't have much at all in kind of April and May and even into early June. But later in June and into July, into August, we've had more frequent bouts of showers and thunderstorms around our area. So upstream from us in our western neighboring counties, we have a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings that are out. One until 4:30 covers the northern half of Portage, southern Geauga. The other one runs until 5. This is the most recent warning just issued. This covers Akron and a good chunk of central parts of Portage County, and does not quite make it to the Mahoning and Trumbull line. So that's what's going on with the storms to our west. These storms to our west actually have been trying to produce some hail from time to time. Now, the hail threat is a very distant secondary threat for us this afternoon. The wind is the primary concern, once again, with these. But there's been a little bit of hail trying to fall out of these, especially over towards Akron, where you see some of this coloration right here. That is some hail that has been trying to fall. But we're not real concerned about impactful, damaging hail. What we are concerned about is the threat for wind with these storms. This has been the primary threat with all of our storms this week. A lot of lightning, a lot of rain, yes, but they've been moving along at a pretty good speed, so that reduces the flash flooding risk. But a lot of wind with these storms. The storms from earlier today were threatening to produce 50-plus mile-per-hour winds for a time, especially in areas north of I-80. They started to weaken some as they came to the south and east and moved through parts of western PA. But yeah, we've been dealing with very, very strong winds with some of these storms over the last couple of days, and that'll be the threat with this evening's storms as well. I see we have some trolls on Facebook and some people who want to talk politics. This is not the place for that. I go through all my comments, and you will be banned if you start acting like a troll and talking politics and saying fake news media and things like that. This live stream is for people who want to be warned about the weather and want to take the situation seriously, and that's what we're here for. If you want to go be an internet troll, you can do that somewhere else. There's plenty of places for you to do that, but not here. All right, we have some heavy rain coming into Ellsworth right now, some thunder and lightning back towards Berlin Lake as well, just north of Sebring and north and west of Salem. Let's put a radar loop on this, show you the direction this Mahoning County cell is moving, kind of east-northeast. So this is making a beeline into Austintown and Canfield here momentarily, coming up towards Lordstown, Mineral Ridge. This will be coming into Girard as well, and downtown Youngstown. You'll be getting a downpour here before too much longer. The northern edge of this is coming into Warren right now. It's coming into Cortland. This zone has had several rounds of storms over the last couple of days. The Warren to Cortland area, up into Mesopotamia, over into Kinsman as well. Our friends over in Mercer County have a scattering of hit-or-miss showers and storms, but notice all of this is growing rapidly. This goes from nothing to a pretty good-looking downpour in just a handful of minutes. One kind of straddling the Lawrence-Mercer border near I-79, north and west of Slippery Rock and coming into Grove City. Another one up towards Sandy Creek, and that one will exit the northeastern part of Mercer here before too much longer. But everything's just sort of hit or miss right now. Most places are going to see at least one, if not several rounds of downpours over the next few hours. Not all that many places will get away completely dry over the next few hours. Some places might, but most of us are going to see at least some rain and probably hear some thunder and have to duck away from some lightning over the next couple of hours. It's a weekday night, a lot of after-work activities. We have some athletic practices. Some people's golf league night is tonight, and it's a summer evening, so people are they have outdoor plans, and unfortunately, those plans are going to be altered by these storms, at least for the next couple of hours, maybe even up through like 7 p.m., 7:30 or so this evening. Again, I'll take off the warning information here quickly, and I'll just show you just how rapidly everything is getting going this afternoon. Let's put a 2-hour loop on this. 2 hours ago, some building cumulus clouds. Then about an hour ago, we started to see some cells firing, and these have really gotten taller in the sky here over the last 20 minutes or so. All right, Margot says it's starting to rain in Girard. Mike asking, how does Sharon, PA look? We're going to have to keep an eye on the sky, certainly in the next couple of hours, not only in Sharon, but throughout the rest of the area. The forecast is about the same no matter where you are this evening in our area. Everyone has about equal chances of seeing some showers and some heavy, gusty storms here in the 4 o'clock hour, the 5 o'clock hour, and probably into parts of the 6 o'clock hour as well. No matter what community you're in, everyone has about the same chance. Now, currently, as we speak, the worst of the weather is moving through southern Trumbull and Mahoning counties, with more storms to the west. But just because not a lot's going on right now in Columbiana County, that's likely to change in some spots. And in Mercer County, we have hit or miss stuff right now, and some more consistent shower and thunderstorm activity is going to push into Mercer County here before too much longer. Mike mentioning in Sharon, it's just very hot right now. Yeah, in the lead up to these storms, the atmosphere is super hot and muggy. I showed the heat index values a couple of moments ago. The heat index topped out near 100 in some spots this afternoon. When I posted the heat index forecast a couple of days ago, a lot of people don't read the banner at the top. They think that was the temperature forecast. No, that was the heat index forecast, which factors in the high dew points, and the heat index is basically what your body thinks the temperature is based on its ability to sweat and evaporate that sweat. And when the heat index is close to 100, your body has a hard time keeping cool. That sweat does not evaporate as efficiently, and that evaporation of sweat is what our body does to keep us cool. So, yeah, the heat index has been a story all day today. So thankfully, we're going to see big-time reductions in the humidity as we head towards the upcoming weekend. It's going to be much more comfortable outside 48 hours from now. It's going to feel like a different world 48 hours from now, Saturday afternoon. But we got one more muggy day to get through for tomorrow. All right, for those just joining us, we're doing some live streaming coverage this afternoon with heavy gusty storms pushing in. And these will be around in the area, in the vicinity, for a couple of hours this evening. Severe thunderstorm watch for our entire television viewing area runs until 10. The severe weather threat will be over long before 10, and they'll start discontinuing the watch in a few hours once the severe weather threat starts winding down. But that initial watch is out until 10 p.m. We have no current warnings in our TV viewing area. A couple of active warnings just to our west in our neighboring counties. Portage County, Geauga County, out towards Summit County, near the Akron area. That's a rough start to the rush hour right now along I-77, Route 8, and all of those major thoroughfares, including around 271, out towards the Akron area, heading up towards Richfield and Hudson. And all this is pushing to the east. Let's give you a sense as to the general speed of this. Let's see what the Weather Service is pegging as the forward speed here. Weather Service says these are moving about 20 to 25. These are a little slower than some of the storms we've had over the last few days. So let's say they're moving at 25. Let's track this initial band and give you some clock times on that based on a 25 mile per hour speed. So coming into Canfield here momentarily, coming into Youngstown in about 15 minutes, coming into Hermitage closer to the top of the hour, and about a quarter after in New Wilmington and over towards Mercer and into the Newcastle area. Now, in western PA especially, we already have some pop-up showers and storms, but we're doing a storm track here and timing out this main cluster that's moving through Warren and Mineral Ridge and Austintown right now. So that gives you a quick and dirty idea as to the timing. These are approximate amounts, or approximate times, I should say, and based on a 25 mile per hour movement. Dylan says it's coming down in Kent right now. It looks like it, that's for sure. Towering cumulus rolling into South Pymatooning. I didn't catch who commented on that. The comments on Facebook roll past pretty quickly, so sometimes I miss some. Someone mentioning it's not raining in Girard just yet, but it will be pretty soon. It's just off to your west, just west of 46 right now. So it's coming into Mineral Ridge here momentarily. It's definitely pouring rain in Lordstown right now along 45 and the Ohio Turnpike, and we're getting a pretty good downpour up into the Warren area as well. Let's take a look at our Niles camera. This says Youngstown up in the banner, but this is Eastwood Mall and Niles. Looks like the pavement is wet right there. The sky is darkening, but we're not seeing too heavy of a downpour there just yet. That's likely to change here momentarily. Might even be trying to get a little hail out of this over towards Lordstown. Yeah, we might be getting some pea-sized hail embedded in this torrential downpour around the Lordstown area. We see this kind of purple color. That's really heavy rain, but also possibly some pea-sized hail. Again, large hail, damaging hail, impactful hail is not really expected with these storms today. the kind of hail that's going to dent your siding or your windshield or something like that. Not what we are expecting today, but yeah, conversational hail, pea-size hail, small hail, maybe up to penny size. That's going to be a possibility. Some of these storms get pretty tall in the sky. They can tap into the really cold air that's way up there in the atmosphere. A lot of rising motion in the air, in the atmosphere today, so these storms can get tall in a hurry, and that allows them to tap into the cold stuff that's up there a lot. In fact, let's quickly show you how tall some of these storms are. This is the downpour that's over Mineral Ridge right now. Kind of looks like it's giving us the finger, right? But you can interpret from this that the top of this storm is getting up to about 50,000 feet. Pretty tall. Sometimes in the summer season we get storms up to 60,000 feet or so. And when they get up that high, it's really cold up at that level. That's way above where the airplanes fly. It's really cold up there, and you can get hailstones forming very easily up there. And if you get a pretty good downdraft, some of those hailstones can survive the trip all the way down to the ground. There's a lot of melting that goes on when they form way up there and have to make the trip all the way down, and they're encountering much warmer air on the trip down. But a large hailstone can still survive and become a penny size or a pea sized hailstone, that is, as it comes down to the ground. A growing downpour right now down towards Columbiana, Latonia as well. So we're getting wet right now around Route 11, getting close to the Mahoning line. A couple of showers still trying to get going between Hanoverton and Lisbon, just north of Route 30 along 172. This downpour is coming into Canfield, raining cats and dogs in Ellsworth right now. Raining in Austintown. The downpours are starting to come into the Youngstown area. Mahoning Avenue between Austintown and Youngstown is seeing a downpour right now, and this extends up towards I-80. Again, the rain is coming into Niles as we speak, and it's pouring between Niles and Lordstown and coming up into parts of greater Warren. Let's hop over to Mercer County quickly. Still have a scattering of showers and storms here, including a pretty good downpour with some lightning around Grove City. Out near the outlets, we're getting slammed pretty good right now. Maybe a little gust of wind with that. It's a little quieter in the central part of Mercer County right now, and we have one more downpour up in the northeastern corner, up near New Lebanon. Things are quiet for the time being in the Greenville area. Again, severe thunderstorm warnings out to our west until 4:30, including the Hudson area, Streetsboro, Kent, Stowe, and then until 5, downtown Akron and points east over towards Cuyahoga Falls. Not quite to the edge of Mahoning County and Trumbull County. Mandy says nothing in Damascus. Yeah, it looks like most of the activity in Damascus is a miss for the time being, but you could still get hit certainly before the next couple of hours are through. Stephen asking, driving to Pittsburgh around 5, what should I expect? Scattering of showers and storms. It may be dry for a time from our area down to Pittsburgh, but stuff can just pop out of thin air. The atmosphere is very ripe, and so even though it's pretty quiet right now over towards Beaver County along the PA Turnpike and along 376, that may not be the case for much longer. We could see more activity starting to pop in this area here as we head towards 5 p.m. So that whether you're heading to Pittsburgh or driving anywhere in our area, just because it's dry right now doesn't mean it's going to stay that way all evening. Stuff can really pop in a hurry in this very, very hot, humid, and unstable air mass. I'm going to pop off camera for a moment here and post onto social media. Quick radar snapshot, so I'm going to disappear momentarily. Again, I'm off camera for just a moment here, folks, while I post a radar snapshot on social media. Alright, we are back. Now we're back. Again, thanks to everyone for joining me this afternoon. We're doing live streaming coverage once again today with the possibility of severe weather in any of these storms. We've got to stay weather aware if you have outdoor plans for the next couple of hours, maybe even up through 7 or 7:30. You're going to want to pay very close attention to the weather. We have downpours in some places. Other places, it's just hot and humid and dry right now. But just because you're dry right now doesn't mean it'll be that way all evening. Stuff can really just start popping. And the more activity we see across the area, the more little pools of rain-cooled air that will flow out from these storms. We call them outflow boundaries. A lot of times those outflow boundaries cause those nice-looking, beautiful, but scary-looking shelf clouds, those kind of low-hanging appendages off of thunderstorm clouds. We get a lot of pictures of shelf clouds during severe weather. And those little outflow boundaries with shelf clouds attached to them, those can be little cold fronts that touch off brand new activity here and there, just almost out of nowhere, but it can certainly happen in this kind of a setup. All right, Kirk and Turner Road, a torrential rain, says Colleen. Thanks to Colleen for that. Ken asking, what should I expect tomorrow morning? Well, there could be a shower or a storm in the area tomorrow morning. That's a possibility. The best chance for heavy gusty storms on Friday, the best chance for severe weather on Friday, will be in the afternoon as our cold front gets a little bit closer. But a shower or storm could occur at any time on Friday. We still have an elevated risk of some pretty heavy storms as we wrap up the week on Friday. Then things will get a lot better by Saturday. All right, again, for those just joining us, we have a severe thunderstorm watch out. All the counties in yellow, basically all of northeast Ohio, the northern panhandle of West Virginia, and all of western PA. Severe thunderstorm watch runs until 10. All right, we have a brand new warning. We're going to get a severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Trumbull County now. So they're going to extend the severe thunderstorm warning that was out in northern Portage County and catch the northern half of Trumbull with this. So this is our brand new warning. Severe thunderstorm warning runs until 5:30 this evening for parts of Trumbull. So this includes Warren, Newton Falls, Lordstown, Vienna, Cortland, and over towards the PA state line. So basically the southern half of Trumbull County. Severe thunderstorm warning runs until 5:30. This warning is because of not only the threat for wind, but some hail as well. These storms have been trying to produce some hail back towards I-77 from Akron up towards the Hudson area. And I see off in the distance we have meteorologist Tyler Ryan joining us this evening. Tyler's going to be off camera keeping an eye on what's going on social media and talking to the newsroom if need be, and kind of being my eyes and ears here in the weather office. Tyler, you can do whatever you need to do over there to get situated, get settled in. Again, just put out a couple of minutes ago, severe thunderstorm warning for northern parts of Trumbull County. Let's take a look.
You said you're good on this, right?
Yeah. Okay. Let's take a look at the warning text here. All right, so the threats with this include 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail. And we're starting to see, again, the possibility that some hail may be falling. I mentioned this a few moments ago. There may be some hail trying to come down in some of these downpours. Lordstown over to Niles, up into the Warren area as well. Looking at my off-screen radar source, seeing a little hail trying to fall there. It's nothing terribly big. It's nothing that's going to dent your siding or anything like that, but it is a little hail. And we also have some gusty winds associated with this out in Portage County. So we've got a pretty good shot here in Niles. Again, the banner up at the top is going to say Youngstown, but this is going to be Niles coming back to us. Don't have it yet. Let's try it again. There we go. Yeah, we're getting hard downpours. It's hard to see hail on these cameras, but yeah, there might be some small hail in the mix with these downpours near Eastwood Mall in Niles. Again, this is Niles, not Youngstown. We have Youngstown on the banner, but it is Niles. Our other active camera right now is, what's camera one?
WFJ actually.
Let's go to the tower camera, and we're looking kind of northwest right now, and you can, if you look carefully, you can kind of see the sheets of rain north and northwest of downtown Youngstown, right there. That's rain falling out of clouds off in the distance. So this is from our tower camera on the south side of Youngstown, a couple of 100 feet in the air, so it gives us a real nice bird's eye view of approaching storms. So this is the view from south side of Youngstown on northwest. Let's look at the wind with the storm that's incoming into Trumbull County. This is off the Cleveland radar. We're getting some brighter reds. Now north and east of Kent near Brady Lake, heading over towards Shalersville. And where these brighter reds are, yeah, you're getting some strong winds in there, maybe 40 to 50 mile per hour winds, maybe even perhaps a little bit higher in some of those brighter colors. So that's why the Weather Service extended the existing warning that was out in Portage County into Trumbull County with the wind threat and also the threat for some hail trying to come out of the storm that's currently over south central Trumbull County. And there's our hail algorithm right there showing the possibility of some hail, Lordstown to Mineral Ridge. If you're seeing hail in this zone, let me know in the comments. Daryl says a little hail in Howland. So yeah, anybody else who might be seeing hail in this zone, southern Trumbull County, let me know. Because our radar is showing that there's probably at least a little bit of hail trying to fall out of this storm. So severe thunderstorm warning for the southern half of Trumbull County until 5:30. If you're just joining us, we are doing live streaming coverage for a while this afternoon prior to our 6 o'clock newscast with the threat for some heavy, gusty storms again. We've had many rounds of this week, and we've got one more day tomorrow that we're going to have to put up with a scattering of showers and perhaps some gusty storms, and then things improve for the weekend. Right now, the worst of our weather is in the warning area in Trumbull County, but we are getting some downpours down into Mahoning County, in Austintown and Canfield and Boardman, heading up into downtown Youngstown as well. But the threat for hail and some wind exists just north of the county line, up into Mineral Ridge and into Niles as well. And again, I'll pop on that Niles camera. And it looks like conditions are starting to improve a little bit right across from the mall in this specific location along 422. But in the greater Niles area, we're getting a doozy of a thunderstorm right now. Jill asking, are we going to have another heat advisory tomorrow? No, we will not. It will not be as hot tomorrow. It'll still be very muggy, but temperature should top out in the 80s tomorrow instead of the 90 to 93 range like we had today. I'm going to pop off camera again momentarily while I post on social media real quickly. All right, thanks for hanging with me, everyone. Just off camera for a moment, updating social media. Make sure you're following all of our team, including the Storm Tracker 21 account on social media. I'm Eric WFMJ on Twitter and on Instagram as well, and search for meteorologist Eric Wilhelm on Facebook. If you're watching me on YouTube right now, you can also follow me on Facebook if you are not doing so already. Heavy rain still ongoing right now along 46 Mineral Ridge area, heading over across 193, coming out of downtown Youngstown, going up Belmont into the Youngstown Country Club area, heading up towards Churchill and Girard, up towards Avalon Lakes, into the Vienna area near the airport. Some heavy rain pushing in right now. In downtown Youngstown proper, the rain is not quite as heavy. We're not hearing it on our roof right now. When it's raining really hard here, we can hear it up on the roof. We're on the top floor of the building here, and when it's raining hard, we can definitely hear it. Getting some moderate rain right now in Youngstown, but it's definitely harder as you go off to the north, and especially north of 422, and heading up the 711 connector up to I-80. Getting some heavy downpours right now. Columbiana County is one of our quieter spots right now, especially as you go down towards Lisbon, Salineville, East Liverpool, the Route 39 corridor. It's just hot and humid down there, but storms could pop down there at any point. Most of our activity right now is around and north of Route 62, say. From Salem area on north, we're getting some downpours also into New Middletown and Columbiana. Over in Mercer County, the heaviest storm is near Grove City and just pushing east of Grove City right now and coming into the Harrisville area and grazing Slippery Rock. Right now we still have a heavy downpour and some thunder and lightning in the far northeastern corner of Mercer County, up near French Creek. There might even be a little hail in the mix there as well. So they're going to continue the severe thunderstorm warning until 5 out in Portage and Summit. If you hear the doorbell sounds in the background, that's our NWS chat, National Weather Service chat. We have an internal chat session going with the National Weather Service offices in Cleveland and Pittsburgh, and whenever they issue a product or put out a statement of some kind, that makes a noise in our chat room. So that noise gets our attention in severe weather situations because they might be putting out a new warning or something like that. So if you hear that noise, that's what's going on in the background. Our current warning is for southern and central Trumbull County until 5:30 this evening, including Southington, Newton Falls, Mineral Ridge, Vienna, Cortland. Once you get north of Mosquito Lake, up into the Kinsman area, over towards Mespo, you are not currently in a severe thunderstorm warning. That warning extends back into a lot of Portage County, parts of Geauga County, and in areas just south and east of Akron right now as well. They're going to continue the severe thunderstorm warning until 5:30, the one that is currently out for southern Trumbull County. Let's pop up our Youngstown camera again. This gave us a nice bird's eye view a little while ago, and you can see conditions have deteriorated on the south side of Youngstown. The visibility has been reduced. We got moisture on the camera. It's not exactly blowing around real hard right now, so this is not super windy, at least in this specific location right now. I'd say the hardest winds are definitely out into Portage County, so let's take a look at that. All the red colors here are winds that are blowing away from the radar site, and since we're looking at the radar site near Cleveland, all of this is blowing away from Cleveland. If we were seeing blues and greens, that would be wind blowing towards Cleveland. All of our winds are pretty much unidirectional today. Much like the rest of the week, the tornado threat is very near zero today. We're not concerned about tornadoes, but severe thunderstorm winds, straight line winds of 60 miles per hour, 70 miles per hour. We've seen that on occasion with these storms in parts of northern Ohio, and those kinds of winds can have the same impact as a low-end EF0 tornado. So just because the tornado threat is not really high at all, you got to take wind of this magnitude pretty seriously in these storms. And right now, Shalersville along I-80, some of these brighter reds and getting into the yellows, we're probably talking about some winds of at least 50 coming across and coming into Windham here pretty shortly, and it won't take long for this to come into Newton Falls and Braceville and then come into the Warren area as well. Let's in fact time out the strong winds. Weather Service has this moving at... Did you catch the forward speed, Tyler, they had in that statement?
Let me double check. I can. But no, I didn't.
So this one they have moving at 40. Earlier, they had storms moving a little bit slower. So let's split the difference and say this is moving at 35. Like this. move it east. So, heads up in Southington and Newton Falls, you've got about 5 or 6 or 7 minutes to prepare for this. Coming into Champion closer to 5 p.m., so 4:57 to 5. A couple of minutes later in Warren, and assuming this holds together, another round coming into the Niles area, coming up about 5:10 to 5:15. And then again, if this holds together, this ball of wind that prompted the warning can come over towards the state line, over into Sharon, as we get closer to 5:30. Hey, Tyler, can you run back and ask Ron if we've got... Hey, Ron, I don't see Max 1 on the live stream. Do we have that in the encoder? Okay. Okay.
Your mic goes in on too. Okay, make sure he's got it in.
Okay. Off camera, we're discussing the live stream on the app and on the website. We wanted to get that up and running late this afternoon. We've been streaming for about half an hour or so now on Facebook and on YouTube as well. Lots of vivid lightning in southern Trumbull County. Churchill heading into Hubbard right now. Look at all these plus signs on here. This is positive voltage lightning, which tends to be more dangerous than the lightning that has negative voltage. And all lightning is dangerous, but the lightning that carries a positive voltage tends to be even more dangerous because it tends to hit things on the ground more often. It tends to have a higher voltage, and so that's why we like showing you the difference between the negative voltage strikes and the positive voltage strikes on our radar here. All right, we're in good shape on the live stream now, it looks like, so that is a good thing. So you can watch this live stream now on wfmj.com/weather, the Storm Tracker 21 app, the 21 News app as well. And I know most of you are watching on Facebook. If you're not watching on Facebook, more than likely you are watching on my YouTube channel. So welcome to everyone, wherever you are joining us late this afternoon. As these storms push through, yeah, the temperature is going to drop in a hurry. Now, it's going to stay very, very muggy, but instead of being 90 degrees, it's going to drop into the mid-70s as this pushes through. It got really hot this afternoon. The heat index approached 100, making the atmosphere very ripe for thunderstorms to start bubbling up. And these popped in a matter of a half an hour. It went from nothing on the radar to big, tall thunderstorms very quickly between 3:30 and 4 or so this afternoon. This kind of an air mass, it just doesn't take much. We don't have a cold front or anything rolling through this afternoon, but this very humid air mass and some fairly weak disturbances aloft, just enough to get things going. So again, severe thunderstorm warning until 5:30, 45 more minutes in southern Trumbull County. We may see a new warning issued out into Mercer County. That would be under the jurisdiction of the Pittsburgh Weather Service office. Although the hail that looked like it was trying to come out of the storm earlier, closer to Lordstown, does not look as impressive at this point. And the wind does not look super strong. Yeah, there's some gusty winds, no doubt, but I think the worst of the wind, the bigger concern is definitely coming into western Trumbull County right now, coming into Southington. Another round of heavy wind coming into Southington. We've had several rounds of strong winds in western Trumbull County over the last few days. So looking at the wind velocity data, that was the rain. Now here's the wind. So the yellows and reds, especially as the reds get brighter, those are stronger winds. So coming through into Windham right now and back towards Shalersville, winds of at least 40, pretty common through here, perhaps even 50 or so. This will be enough to cause some problems. Power outages, tree limbs can come down, and with the rain that we've had over the last few days, the ground is softer than it was last week. It was getting kind of dry around here earlier in August and certainly in late July, but the recent rains have softened up the ground. That makes it easier for fairly weak trees to come down in strong winds. And so that's something we have to be aware of as we go through the next couple of hours. The ground is a lot softer in most of the area than it was just a few days ago before this deluge, or this kind of unrelenting pattern, has been producing showers and storms here during the work week. Actually, this started on Sunday with a scattering of showers and storms that day. Again, thanks to everyone for joining us. Just taking a quick look at my comments on Facebook. Thanks to everyone for chiming in and letting me know what is going on. You guys are my eyes and ears out there. And we've got all the great radar equipment in the world, but that is definitely not our only source of great information. Our viewers are fantastic, especially those who have taken some Skywarn classes and they are formally trained. We have those Skywarn classes put on by the National Weather Service every spring. They've been mostly virtual the last couple of years, unfortunately, but those Skywarn classes, you can take those. They're free. They're usually put on in the spring, and you can become a certified storm spotter. And really, that makes it so you really know what you're looking at. Different types of clouds and different types of weather phenomena. And the more trained spotters we have out there, the better for all of us in the weather enterprise. All right, new warning out of our viewing area out towards Clarion and Venango County, east of Mercer County. That's this guy out here. So that is well east of I-79 and not a problem for our television viewing area. Our current warning is for southern Trumbull County until 5:30. Most concerned at this point about the western part of Trumbull with this wind coming into Southington right now, Braceville. You need to brace for some strong winds in the next 15 minutes or so. Heads up in Newton Falls, especially from Newton Falls on north. That's probably where the worst of the wind is going to be. Newton Falls up to Southington, maybe as far north as Farmington and Bristol. You got to watch out for this, certainly in Champion. If you're watching from Leavittsburg and Champion and Warren and Cortland, if you still have some loose outdoor items that you haven't brought in with all the other storms this week, run outside and bring those in or secure them. We don't want to see pictures of flying trampolines this evening, patio umbrellas, things that can become airborne. You're going to want to try to secure those very quickly because this storm is making a beeline towards your area, basically running right along 305 and coming down the 422 corridor as well. So again, Leavittsburg, Warren, Howland, Cortland, Braceville, and once again the Newton Falls area. This is a heavy, heavy gusty thunderstorm pushing in with winds of at least 40 to 50 miles per hour and perhaps even higher coming in as we speak. Just crossing the county line from Portage County over into Trumbull County. A lot of lightning with this as well. Look at all this lightning over in Portage County. All these positive voltage lightning strikes. Very dangerous lightning. This is a dangerous storm because of the lightning and because of the wind as well. All right, down in Mahoning County, we are not under a warning down here. The wind is not as impressive down here, but we are getting some downpours coming into White House Fruit Farm along 62 into Canfield, and getting some heavy rain starting to fall in the Boardman area along Market Street and 224, and getting some rain Struthers and Camel, although it gets heavier over towards Coatesville and up into the Hubbard area, crossing the county line into southeastern parts of Trumbull, getting some heavy rain coming into Wheatland and Sharon, West Middlesex and Hermitage, and a lot of lightning with this as well. Getting some rain, lightning, and thunder on West Hill and Masury. Thanks for that. Jay asking what's in store for the transfer area. Same thing as the rest of the region. Chance of heavy downpours and thunderstorms at times. In transfer specifically, this specific storm right now is just going to kind of graze you. You're going to kind of be on the north side of this, it looks like, but you have to pay attention to it. A lot of lightning and wind, especially lightning and rain, coming in with that. Severe thunderstorm warning is definitely justified, though, in the western part of Trumbull County right now with heavy, heavy rain. Right along 422 in the Southington area, heavy rain and gusty winds. Let's check out the latest data for the wind coming through Windham, and again coming across the county line right now. 55 miles per hour being sampled by the radar, coming into Braceville momentarily, coming into Southington momentarily, coming into Newton Falls momentarily as well. So these brighter reds and into the yellow colors, that is some serious wind. The other warning off to our west is going to be discontinued soon or allowed to expire at 5 p.m. no longer looks like severe weather is a threat with this southern warning, but definitely a severe weather threat with this warning that's in effect until 5:30. This is coming into Trumbull County. So again, pay attention to this and take this seriously if you are downstream of this in the Lordstown area, in Warren and Cortland and Champion. Prepare as if a very low-end tornado is approaching. Again, not saying there's a tornado coming, but winds similar to a very low-end EF0 tornado, maybe 60 miles per hour, being sampled by the radar right now coming into western parts of Trumbull County. And we just got a fresh scan of the radar here, so fresh data now, and we definitely have some 60 mile per hour winds now being sampled by the radar between Southington and Newton Falls. So again, take this very, very seriously. In the Warren area, this is coming your way. Champion as well. So really windy and raining right now. 534, 422 around Southington, 305 around Southington. The 82 corridor, Leavittsburg. Again, this is moving east at about 45 miles per hour, so you've only got a handful of minutes to prepare for this from Cortland to Warren and down towards Lordstown. That's where the worst of the wind is by far and away across our area right now. The eastern areas of Trumbull County into Mahoning County and coming into Mercer County, not seeing quite as much wind. Maybe some gusty winds, but probably nothing that's going to cause any sort of damage in the near term. Weather Service puts out a statement saying there's a strong thunderstorm in central Mercer, northwestern Lawrence. No warning on that, but they're commenting on the strong thunderstorms in western PA. So Pulaski and New Wilmington, West Middlesex area, we've got a lot of lightning with that.
New warning for Columbiana.
All right, new warning.
Or Mahoning and Portage.
New warning for Mahoning and Portage. So we're going to get a warning now until 6 p.m. for a good chunk, just about all, of Mahoning County. Excluded from that area is very close to the Columbiana line, but otherwise the rest of Mahoning County, you are now in a severe thunderstorm warning. This runs until 6 p.m. And Ron, if you're listening in the back, let's do a TV cut in here when we get a chance. If you're listening back there, Ron. Hey, Ron, can we do a TV cut in here whenever we get a chance here? All right. So we're going to set up, for our streaming viewers, we're going to set up a quick cut in on the TV side to let our viewers know that we have a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings now, and one is a particularly serious situation up into western Trumbull County. There's our two warnings. One runs until 5:30, the other, the brand new one, runs until 6 p.m. this evening. Okay. All right, standing by. Just go to max 1. Yeah, I'll stay off camera. All right. Okay. Again, for our streaming audience, we're taking a moment here to cut in on television, let everyone know that we've got a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings out right now. We'll be back with you on camera on the live stream here coming up in just a couple of minutes. Stay with us. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. It's 21 News Chief Meteorologist Eric Wilhelm here, talking about a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings that are out this afternoon. Mahoning County under one until 6 p.m., and the southern and central areas of Trumbull County in a warning until 5:30. All of these storms have the capability of producing some very strong winds, especially right now in western parts of Trumbull County. Very strong winds, perhaps 50 miles per hour plus, rolling through Southington, Braceville, and Newton Falls right now. So heads up in Lordstown and Warren and Cortland. This is heading your way. And down in Mahoning County, we have areas of heavy rain, maybe some small hail around Sebring, and some gusty winds as well. We're doing live streaming coverage as we speak on WFMJ.com/weather, the Storm Tracker 21 app, and our social media outlets. Join us over there and join us on 21 News at 6 p.m. for the very latest. Okay, thank you, sir. All right, thanks to everyone on the stream for hanging with us. We just did a little business on TV, letting our TV viewers know what's going on. And what's going on is conditions are right on schedule, kind of deteriorating in some parts of our area, with a couple of active warnings now in Mahoning and Trumbull counties. Let's focus on Trumbull first and talk about the wind situation. Very, very strong winds where you see the brighter yellows and the reds right here. Newton Falls to Southington. We're getting some winds being sampled by the radar of 60 miles per hour plus in parts of this area. So a quick few queries there showed some 50 mile per hour winds. If we zoom in a little more, we're going to be able to click on some of the yellow spots here. There's a 58. And there's a 60 coming into Leavittsburg as we speak. So again, take the wind very seriously. This can cause some damage. This can bring down tree limbs and perhaps even entire trees if they are weak trees and the ground is particularly soft, and can lead to some power outages as well. This is coming through central and west central parts of Trumbull County. Take that very seriously. Now the other warning is down in Mahoning County, where the radar is not showing quite as much wind, but we may have some hail trying to fall out of this storm. In the southwestern part of Mahoning. So right down here, Beloit, and coming over into the Sebring area, starting to see some indications of some hailers in here. Now the hail is not going to get too big this afternoon, but it can be out there mixed in with downpours. It's probably not enough to cause damage, but enough to be noticeable, I think. So if you're seeing hail around Sebring right now, be sure and let me know in the comments, especially if you're watching on Facebook.
Yeah, the hazard or the text says quarter-size hail and 60 mile per hour wind gust.
So meteorologist Tyler Ryan off screen there mentioning the hazards mentioned or indicated in the severe thunderstorm warning text up to, what'd you say, quarter-size hail?
Yep.
Quarter-size hail, 60 mile per hour winds. The wind, not as impressive on the radar right now as it is up in Trumbull County, but no doubt there's at least some gusty winds embedded in the stuff that's going through western Mahoning right now. Now in eastern Mahoning, this looks more innocuous right now. This is fairly garden variety downpours with thunder and lightning. Boorman down to North Lima, heading over towards Poland, up into Struthers as well, and we just have some light rain for the time being in downtown Youngstown. But the heavier storm activity is out into the western part of Mahoning right now, around Sebring, Beloit, heading over into Ellsworth here momentarily. On Twitter, getting a comment about just getting hammered in Southington, gusty winds, and it's coming down in buckets. Yeah, we believe that. That's where the worst of the weather in our viewing area is right now. Southington area, coming to Braceville, coming into Leavittsburg. We're getting some very strong winds, vivid lightning, and some blinding rains here in western parts of Trumbull County. All right, there's the wind situation. So again, this product is showing the wind speeds off the radar that's based in Cleveland. So all the reds and yellows are winds that are blowing away from Cleveland and towards our area. When we are using the Pittsburgh radar data, since Pittsburgh, of course, is south and east of us, the colors flip. And winds that are blowing towards that radar become the greens and blues, and winds that are blowing away from the Pittsburgh radar and down to the south and east become the reds and yellows. And we use those radar sites depending on where we are looking in our area, because we're kind of halfway between. Up in western Trumbull County, we're closer to the Cleveland radar up here, so we're going to use that data for severe weather that impacts more of western PA, and certainly once you're down into Columbiana County, we rely more on the Pittsburgh radar data because we're closer to the radar site down there. When the radar beam, because of the curvature of the Earth, the radar beam gains elevation as it moves away from the radar site. And so as it gets farther and farther away from the radar site, it starts sampling the storm higher and higher up in the storm, which can be useful, but we want the data that's closer to the ground down where we are. So we try to pick the closest radar site to use. But off the Cleveland data here, off the Cleveland radar, you have very strong winds being sampled coming into Leavittsburg as we speak, and we're getting hammered in Southington area. Just about to see the worst of the wind pushing east of Southington. But heads up in Warren, this is definitely coming your way very, very soon. Let's go back to the traditional radar. Pea-size hail, maybe hail up to penny size, going to be a possibility in parts of Mahoning County right now, especially from Craig Beach on southward towards Beloit. Might be getting some small hail falling now in northwestern Lawrence County as well. Pulaski coming into New Wilmington. A lot of thunder and lightning out there. And heavy rain and thunder and lightning also extends up into southwestern Mercer County, West Middlesex, Sharon. Coming into the Hermitage area. Conditions are improving temporarily in the eastern part of Mercer County. But heads up in Trumbull County, potentially damaging winds coming across right now, coming across into Lordstown, back into Lordstown, where we just had a thunderstorm a little while ago. Same thing in Warren. Now starting to really come down hard in Champion with a lot of lightning and thunder just to your west and a lot of wind coming in. Wind and rain and vivid lightning in Newton Falls and Braceville. Going to pop up a couple of our cameras here quickly. This is Niles. We're looking west. So this is the 422 corridor. We're looking west, away from Niles, up towards the Warren area and going over towards Braceville and places like that. You can kind of see the leading edge of the somewhat rain-cooled air, kind of a low-hanging cloud here. That's probably some rain-cooled air starting to rush in along the leading edge. We'll go down to Mahoning County and our Youngstown camera. Again, ominous, off in the distance. We're looking kind of northwest here in Youngstown. Tyler, if you can move the Youngstown camera to the left so we get to more of a western view, so we can get a view of the storms out in western Mahoning. There we go. So way off in the distance, you can see the rain coming down. If you look carefully, there's the rain right there, reaching the ground off to the west. So down here, of course, is 680. This is South Avenue. And to our west, the rain is reaching the ground and conditions are deteriorating once again.
Lawrence.
All right, so Lawrence and Mercer, new severe thunderstorm warning. So, as expected, things are getting pretty busy. We have several warnings now out. This brand new one is right here. This includes southern Mercer County and the northern half of Lawrence County. This runs until 5:45. So you're now in a severe thunderstorm warning in New Wilmington and Newcastle and over towards Slippery Rock and Grove City. Again, this extends up to about West Middlesex, not quite to Sharon, not quite to Mercer, very close, and not quite to Jackson Center. So southern Mercer, northern half of Lawrence. Severe thunderstorm warning out until 5:45. A big-time thunderstorm has formed with a lot of lightning and some gusty winds and some heavy rain and perhaps even some small hail now in the northwestern corner of Lawrence County. We're going to continue the severe thunderstorm warning until 5:30 in Trumbull. So we've got until 5:30 on the Trumbull County warning, until 6 o'clock in Mahoning County.
The storm from Lawrence and Mercer, it is moving east at 35 miles per hour.
All right, so they got 35 on the forward speed here for this new warning. So let's do a quick track, give you some clock times as this comes east, about 35 miles per hour. Coming into Hickory, 5:08, Mercer at 5:12, Grove City at about 5:25, a few minutes later in Slippery Rock, and then out of our viewing area as we head past 5:30 this evening. So that's the Western PA warning that was just issued. All right, very strong winds here in the yellows and brighter reds coming into the Warren area, just about to come into Howland. So heads up there. Niles, you're going to get grazed by this. The worst of the wind may be just north of Niles, closer to Howland, but it's going to be close. This is going to come very close to the Youngstown Warren Airport near Vienna and come very close to the Cortland area as well, mostly south of the fairgrounds and south of Bezetta Township with this, but close call on the southern end of Mosquito Lake. Again, this is the wind data off the Cleveland radar, showing that ball of wind, put a loop on this, that ball of wind rolling east through Trumbull County. The primary threat with all these storms today is the wind, but secondary threats include a lot of lightning, very dangerous lightning, and for a brief time, pretty heavy rain. Now, we haven't seen a lot of flooding problems this week, mostly because of the forward speed of these storms. While it rains really hard in some spots, it doesn't last that long in general, not long enough to cause widespread flooding issues. In areas of poor drainage and in places that are a little more flood prone, you can see a few issues, but we haven't seen a widespread flash flooding issue in our area because these things have been generally moving all week at somewhere between 30 and even 50 miles per hour. That is a good thing as far as the flooding concern when these things are moving that fast. All right, new warning out in Crawford County, PA, north of Mercer County.
I was reading some of your comments, and people are curious. Few people asked, are there any rotation with these storms?
Tyler mentioning off camera, we're getting some Facebook comments asking about rotation. No, we're not seeing any rotation with this with these storms. Tornado risk is almost zero this evening. Never want to say it's completely zero, but it's real low. What we do have a risk of is damaging straight line winds and downbursts with these. These storms can bring down wind energy from aloft very efficiently, and a 65 mile per hour wind gust, that is a straight line wind gust, can do a lot of the same things that an EF0 tornado can do. So yeah, we're probably not going to see any tornadic activity across our region this evening, but in the worst wind prone areas or areas affected most by the wind, you can see issues and damage that is commensurate with a low end EF0 tornado. The enhanced Fujita scale starts at 60 miles per hour, and we're probably seeing some 60 mile per hour winds right now coming into central Trumbull County, at least 50, maybe even close to 60, coming into the Warren area as we speak. Champion as well, heading down towards Lordstown.
One comment said, let me find it, Julia. She says, no power on Bedford Road, West Middlesex, PA. So that's going to be a common thing, probably going throughout the evening hours.
Yeah, probably seeing some scattered power outages now in southwestern PA around West Middlesex. That's going to be a possibility. If you're watching the live stream now on Facebook and YouTube, I'm going to show you some pictures that just got on Twitter of some low-hanging scud clouds. Sometimes we call these scary-looking clouds because these are sometimes mistaken for more ominous things, funnel clouds and things like that. But these are harmless scud clouds. When it's this humid, the air can become saturated very, very close to the ground. And when the air becomes saturated, you get a cloud. And as cooler air rushes out from storms, air can saturate much more quickly when it's cooler, when it's closer to the dew point. And so you can get these scud clouds falling. And so just got these on Twitter. So yeah, that's some vivid scud cloud action. This is from the Southington area, thanks to, or not Southington, I'm not sure where Paige is, but thanks to Paige on Twitter for passing those along. I appreciate it. All right, back here in Trumbull County. We are getting a doozy of a storm coming through the central part of the county right now. Wind is just about to come into Vienna. It'll be interesting to see what the official observation is at the Youngstown Warren Airport here in about 10 minutes or so to see what the wind gust will end up being with this. They had a wind gust at the airport at 4:51 of 37 miles per hour with the previous activity. So sub-severe, but notable. That was at 4:51 at the Youngstown Warren Airport in Vienna. Be interesting to see what the wind gust recorded is as this rolls through. Again, if you're downstream of this, take this seriously. Get ready for some serious wind in the Vienna area. Hartford, Yankee Lake, coming down towards Churchill as well, although the worst of the wind may just miss you to the north. So you might just get grazed by this, or the worst of the wind might just be north of Girard and Churchill and closer to Vienna, and certainly in Howland. We're getting some howling winds right now. And the severe thunderstorm warning, certainly justified, runs for another 20 minutes in Trumbull County. Our western PA warning, let's switch over now to the Pittsburgh radar data. So you're going to see the colors flip. Not seeing tremendous wind indicated on the radar data here, but we have been seeing certainly some small hail trying to form in this storm north and west of Newcastle, closer to Pulaski, coming into New Wilmington. A little hail there and a lot of lightning and a lot of positive voltage strikes. Very dangerous lightning in New Wilmington right now and heading up into southern Mercer County. You are under a warning until 5:45 in the southern part of Mercer County and the northern half of Lawrence, we get a new warning there? They're just continuing that warning until 5:45. That's that last statement put out by the Weather Service that you just heard in the background until 5:45. A continuation of the current warning in southern Mercer and northern Lawrence.
Continues
We're also
for
going to
Trumbull.
we're also going to see the warning continuing until its expiration at 5:30 for Trumbull County. No reason to discontinue that early. That is for sure. That is a severe thunderstorm with a lot of wind coming through Trumbull. Down in Mahoning, getting some heavy rain and maybe some small hail coming into the Ellsworth area right now, and again out towards White House along 62. Coming into Canfield once again. It's a little quieter right now in Boardman, but maybe not for long. We're also getting some downpours in the eastern part of the county over towards the state line along 224 from Poland on east over towards Lowellville, down into New Middletown along 170. Once you are on 170 far enough to the south and closer to East Palestine and Unity, the weather improves and it's just stinking hot and humid as you get down into southeastern Columbiana and southern Columbiana. We are dry for the time being, Salineville and Lisbon and West Point, and down towards East Liverpool along the Ohio River, but may not be dry the entire evening. Right now the activity is to your north, but stay weather aware if you're watching us from down there in the southern part of Columbiana County. Melissa says getting dark in Salem. Constance says the winds are picking up in Niles. Yeah, it's probably about to get quite windy in Niles and maybe just north of Niles. Let's check in on our Niles camera. This is across from Eastwood Mall. It's raining. Doesn't look especially windy right now, but we are definitely getting some rain. This is our Youngstown camera. Dark skies to the west. You can see the rain reaching the ground here, looking west-northwest. And we should see conditions continue to deteriorate in the Youngstown area here in the next handful of minutes. Don't forget, while we're on the subject of warnings and alerts, don't forget lots of different ways to get warnings. Severe weather warnings. We have an extremely low tornado risk this evening, but anytime that tornadoes or even just plain old severe weather is threatening, you're going to want to make sure that you have multiple and redundant ways of getting warnings. We always encourage everyone to have a NOAA weather radio. You can get one of these at Walmart. You can get these at electronic stores. Some home improvement stores like Lowe's and Home Depot have them. You can buy them online. Amazon has them. If you look for the brand Midland USA, that's one of the primary manufacturers of these radios. You can go to their website and get one. These are $25-$30. Easy to program and super, super reliable for your home or office. In addition to your NOAA weather radio, Storm Tracker 21 app, make sure you have the push alerts turned on. WEA, wireless emergency alerts. We just had a test of that system nationwide yesterday, and that will be activated in particularly dangerous situations, flash flooding, particularly severe thunderstorms and tornado warnings as well. And of course, live streams like this one, along with television coverage, all ways that you and your family can stay safe when severe weather is threatening. What we don't want you to rely on, sirens. Sirens should be maybe your fourth or fifth best way of getting tornado warnings. Some municipalities even set off sirens for severe thunderstorm warnings, which, in all honesty, in most cases they should not be doing. But it does happen, and I think that can lead to confusion. That can lead to a high false alarm ratio. If people expect a tornado every time a siren is activated, they might get a little bit lax in their action plans. When an actual tornado is threatening, they might think, wow, I set off those sirens all the time, nothing ever happens. So that's why setting off sirens too often, I think, is a bad thing. All right, in western PA, we have got a lot of lightning right now. From Lackawanna on south into New Wilmington, look at all those positive voltage strikes. This is coming east and will impact Mercer and Findlay and Grove City. Going to graze Jackson Center, probably pushing just south of Fredonia. You are in the clear temporarily in Sharon and Wheatland, but we're going to have to pay attention to what's off to our west. If you're watching us from the Sharon area, Wheatland, West Middlesex, Brookfield, Yankee Lake, Hubbard, Hartford, South Pymatooning, another round is coming your way. It's moving through Niles right now, Mineral Ridge into Warren. Let's check in on the wind data. Doesn't look quite as strong as earlier. Might be seeing a subtle weakening in the wind data, but still these brighter reds is where the strongest of the winds are, coming into Vienna as we speak. Latest observation at the airport was at 5:05, about 10 minutes ago. So we're going to look for a new observation here in the next handful of minutes, see what the wind is doing, where we get our official observations for our entire region. One spot, Vienna, in Trumbull County, where the Youngstown Warren Airport is. Of course, we have a lot of unofficial readings out there, secondary spotters, personal weather stations. I've got a couple of those myself. Those, of course, are unofficial readings, but our one and only spot for official readings in our area comes from the airport in Vienna. We get observations every 5 minutes. Doesn't always post online right on time every 5 minutes, but observations are recorded every 5 minutes. And at 5:05, 10 minutes ago, the wind was still calm. We'll check in on that in a few more minutes. All right, so our warning in Trumbull County will expire at 5:30. Our warning in Mahoning County runs until 6 p.m. Some gusty winds, some frequent lightning, and perhaps some small hail with this. Haven't been as impressed with the wind data on the radar in Mahoning County. Now, if you're watching us from Mahoning County and you're seeing some strong winds where you are, be sure and let me know. Right now, it does look like we are getting some decent wind out towards Craig Beach in the northwestern corner of Mahoning. Right out here, out towards Lake Milton. Yeah, along 534 and along 76. Yeah, probably getting some pretty good winds in the far northwestern corner of Mahoning right now. The rest of Mahoning, the wind data on the radar is not particularly impressive. Some gusts or bursts here and there, but nothing that should last all that long and nothing that looks super impressive to me, at least on the radar data.
One viewer says winds are starting to really kick up in Vienna right now.
Winds are kicking up in Vienna. We got a viewer comment on Facebook. Was that on Facebook?
Yeah.
Colleen checking in from Kirk and Turner, saying it's very windy there. That's good to hear. Rebecca says not too windy in Warren, but it's definitely pouring down rain. Yeah, the worst of the wind is now pushing to your east in the Warren area. Heidi asking, is there more behind this? And that is a good question. For a lot of us, this will be the main show this evening. Could something spotty happen later on? Yeah, but you can see there's not much on the radar at all once you go back towards Cleveland and Mansfield. Something could try to pop up here and there, but nothing severe. Once we're done with this mess right here, all of these storms, this is the main show right now. And from west to east, we're going to see a reduction in the storm threat, in the severe weather threat, as we head deeper into the evening. So if you're watching us from especially western Trumbull and western Mahoning, once you get done with what you're dealing with right now, you're probably done with the severe weather threat for the evening, and the severe thunderstorm watch will start to be chipped away at a little bit. We'll keep an eye on areas to our west for stuff to just kind of pop up, but I don't think anything will be all that organized. The farther east you are and into western PA, the longer you're going to be dealing with this, probably for another couple of hours in Mercer and Lawrence. And then as we head through the overnight tonight, could we get grazed by a random shower or storm? Yes. But overall, the severe weather risk will be much lower overnight than it is at the current time. Jennifer says it's slowing down in Louisville. Light wind, if any. Yeah, the eastern part of Mahoning, not too bad right now, but the stuff that's coming in could have some more wind. Jason asking, any severe weather threats for tomorrow? We have a low-end severe weather risk again tomorrow. Showers and storms tomorrow could occur at any point. The highest risk of severe weather is probably in the afternoon. May not be quite as numerous as today, but we do have a cold front approaching tomorrow, so we have a bona fide trigger. Today we don't have a front or anything pushing through, but we have a front approaching tomorrow, and that may be enough to cause some pretty good thunderstorms, especially in the afternoon on Friday. We'll be in the clear finally by the weekend, but tomorrow, one more day to stay weather aware tomorrow with the possibility of showers and storms. Again, we could get rained on at any point tomorrow like we have the last few days. We've seen stuff pop up in the morning over the last few days. We could see that again tomorrow. Best chance of severe weather, probably going to be in the afternoon. For tomorrow, same threats as today. Mostly a wind threat. Secondary threats would be the lightning and the wind and some small hail as well. Sean just got back from Walmart in Warren. The wind was pulling my car, and it looked like it was going both ways. It was going both ways, yeah. Yeah, we definitely have been dealing with the very strong winds in Trumbull County. The warning was definitely justified. That warning runs for another 10 minutes, and you're in the clear now in the far western part of Trumbull County. So Newton Falls, Southington, you're in the clear. Just about done with the worst of the wind in Warren and Champion and Lordstown. But we're in the thick of it right now, from Niles to Girard up towards Vienna as well. Howland. Check in on our camera in Niles. And yeah, we're still getting pouring rain here. Hard to tell with the wind here. It's a little bit hard to judge. This camera's on a billboard that's not especially high off the ground, so it's a little hard to judge the wind. We also don't have a lot. We're looking at the mall here, and we don't have a lot of trees to look at to see if they're kind of blowing sideways. Down in Youngstown, pretty routine thunderstorm around right now with fairly modest winds. Nothing to write home about in Youngstown right now, but that's going to change here as this band of heavier rain with embedded wind starts to push in. So we're starting to get nailed pretty good in Boardman and Canfield and up towards Austintown as well. Let's check in on the northwestern corner of Mahoning, the wind data here, because I think this is where the worst wind is in Mahoning County right now. Coming out of Craig Beach, right along 76, approaching Jackson Milton Elementary, approaching the 45 area, eventually coming over to 46 and 11, closer to Austintown, closer to the 80-76 interchange north and west of Austintown. We're getting some strong winds. In the yellow colors, the brighter reds, might be some 50-mile-per-hour winds coming through here. In Mahoning County, that's where the worst of the wind is right now. Pockets of stronger wind in the Canfield area. This is probably sub-severe, though. Moving through Kensington Golf Course right now, coming over towards Mill Creek Park here momentarily. Probably sub-severe, but noticeable. Colleen on Facebook has been mentioning this pocket of wind right here. It's enough to blow things around, certainly, but probably sub-severe. Sub 60 miles per hour, probably more in the 30 to 50 range with that. That's moving between Canfield and Boardman right now. This will graze the Youngstown area here momentarily. And then the strongest of the winds now coming into eastern Trumbull. I'm going to switch over to the Pittsburgh radar data here because we're getting into far eastern Trumbull now and a little bit closer to the Pittsburgh radar. So you're going to see the colors flip to green because now the winds are blowing towards Pittsburgh. Green colors means winds blowing towards the radar. And so now we're looking for brighter greens and kind of teals and blues for the stronger winds. Yeah, sampling some 35-mile-per-hour winds here. I'm going to check the latest observation at the airport. Had a gust of 35 at 5:15. So 8 minutes ago we had a gust of 35 at the airport. Sub-severe. We'll see what the 5:20 observation was in a few minutes.
The dailies.
Colleen says it's extremely windy. West Austintown, Kirk, and Turner. Yeah, that's probably in. That's this stuff. We're going to switch over to the Cleveland data here.
When you get a chance, Jolene was asking the storms that are now pushing through Trumbull and Mahoning. What's the trajectory, the timing? Going into Mercer.
Yeah, we'll do a storm track here momentarily. We just got a fresh scan of the radar data here, and Colleen on Facebook just mentioned all the strong winds that are coming into Austintown right now, and we're sampling right around 45, Route 45, 50 to 60 mile per hour winds coming into Austintown. So heads up in Austintown, this is coming in as we speak. Let's do a quick storm track on this cluster. Again, we're getting heavy storms in western PA right now, but let's do a storm track specifically on the stuff that's in Mahoning and Trumbull right now, pushing east at about 40 to 45 miles per hour. That puts it on track to push back into Hubbard here at 5:28. Similar timing for the Sharon area, coming up at about 5:30, 5 minutes or so, 5-10 minutes in Sharon and Hermitage, closer to a quarter till 6 in Newcastle. Now we're getting blasted by storms right now in Newcastle, but the storms that we're tracking right now and giving timing on is the stuff that's moving through Trumbull and Mahoning, moving east at about 45. This should be out of our viewing area probably as we head into the 6 o'clock hour, by about 6:30 or so. And I suspect by about 7 or so, we're probably going to start to see the severe thunderstorm watch being chipped away at by some of our local National Weather Service offices, because the severe weather threat will start winding down. We don't want to give the all clear too early, but not seeing much upstream back towards the Cleveland area right now. Cleveland's expiring the severe thunderstorm warning for Trumbull at 5:30. So it looks like we are now sub-severe in Trumbull. And the radar data bears that out, and even the official observation at the airport a handful of minutes ago was a gust of 35. That's well below severe criteria, which is 58. So the Trumbull part of this appears to be weakening some. The Mahoning part of this may be strengthening a little bit. This part right here is a concern coming into Austintown right now. Very strong winds in these brighter reds and yellows coming across Mahoning Avenue, right through the heart of Austintown here in the next couple of minutes. And this will probably cruise right across Mahoning Avenue closer to Youngstown here as we head past 5:30. So that is becoming our chief concern, is what's going on in the northern tier of Mahoning County right now. Let's go back to the traditional radar. Our warning in Mahoning County runs until 6, so we've got another 33 minutes to go on this severe thunderstorm warning. You are probably in the clear in Trumbull County for severe wind. The wind appears to have kind of slackened enough that we're still getting a lot of lightning and thunder, which is dangerous, and we're getting some heavy rain in spots. The risk for damaging winds appears to be about done in Trumbull County. So the warning is expiring on time here at 5:30 in Trumbull County. Down in Mahoning County, though, this is now where our worst weather is. We're getting maybe some small hail mixed in, some very heavy rain along the 224 corridor, all the way across the 224 corridor from Berlin to Ellsworth to Canfield to Boardman to Poland, and over towards Louisville and the state line, getting some heavy rain. Now starting to hear a little rain on our roof here in downtown Youngstown. Let's look at the Youngstown camera. And yeah, the visibility is definitely lower than it was here in Youngstown. This is our tower camera on the south side of Youngstown. We're looking northwest. Here's 680 and South Avenue right here. And look at all those raindrops on the camera. Up in Niles, yeah, look at this. The sky's trying to brighten some to our north and west. So yeah, we're in the all clear for severe weather for now in Niles. We're not going to give you the all clear for the whole evening just yet. That's a little premature, but we may be able to do that here as we head into the 6 o'clock hour, and if nothing decides to pop up to our north and west. Let's switch one of those cameras over to Boardman, Tyler.
That's what I was doing.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Camera 2 is going to be Boardman.
All right.
And
We're going to hop down to Boardman.
I think you should be good.
So again, the banner is going to say Youngstown, or yeah, look at this. There we go. There's the camera shaking around in Boardman. We're looking to the west towards Canfield here, 422, or I should say 224 and Market Street in Boardman, across from Southern Park Mall, near BJ's, near Walgreens and McDonald's and Five Guys, and that busy intersection of 224 and Market Street. And yeah, the camera's rocking and rolling. We've got some heavy downpours, and that's a tough rush hour situation there along a very busy intersection in the Boardman area. And you can see the bushes and trees kind of blowing around in the Walgreens parking lot. And yeah, the camera, the signal's probably being disrupted a little bit by the wind, and so it's a little herky-jerky. That was the scene in Boardman, where conditions are deteriorating. Again, the worst of the weather right now is moving through Mahoning County. We're getting a lot of wind moving through Austintown and coming into Youngstown and coming into Boardman and moving through Canfield right now, coming across Mill Creek Park as we speak.
And that warning just expired in Trumbull, as expected.
Yeah, at 5:30, the warning's expiring in Trumbull. You are in better shape in Trumbull right now. Mason saying, huge thunder in Canfield. Lights are flickering in Austintown, Colleen says. And Amanda says it's very windy here in Mercer. Let's check in real quickly on Mercer. And yeah, doozy of a thunderstorm. Mercer on south right now. Severe thunderstorm warning runs for another 15 minutes from Mercer southward into northern Lawrence County. That warning includes the Grove City area, includes New Wilmington, and certainly includes Newcastle, where we're getting a doozy of a thunderstorm with very loud thunder and vivid lightning. Look at all those lightning strikes around Newcastle right now. Probably some small hail mixed in there as well. Let's look at the wind data off the Cleveland radar, and showing that wind coming through Austintown. Yeah, the yellows, not something we want to see. There's Kirk Road. There's 46 and 11. Yeah, maybe up to 60 miles per hour right now. Kirk and Turner, and right across the turnpike and coming into 11 here in the next handful of minutes. That is where the worst of the wind is right now. Let's look at the hail tracks. Again, I'm not concerned about damaging hail, but conversational hail, noticeable hail, yeah, there's been several little pockets of hail here and there over the last hour to hour and a half, including right now around the Newcastle area. Now, this is not something that's going to be golf ball size or larger that's going to dent your siding or, crack your windshield of your car or anything like that. But, you could see maybe up to quarter size hail in some spots with this. Definitely noticeable and conversational. And again, if you are seeing hail in your location, be sure and let me know. Emily asking, is this storm cooling us off at all? Temperatures? Yeah, where it's raining, temperatures are back in the 70s. It's still very muggy. It's going to stay very muggy, but temperatures are cooled back to the 70s wherever we have rain. Where it's not raining, especially down in southern Columbiana County, it's close to 90 right now, and the heat index is close to 100 degrees. Bill says the wind and rain is picking up in Kinsman, up in the northeastern corner of Trumbull County. Severe weather threat does not appear to be very high up in northern Trumbull. But yeah, we're getting grazed by a storm that's closer to Andover right now in Kinsman. So a lot of lightning up towards the 322 corridor, that intersection of 322 and 6, up into southeastern Ashtabula County. That's where the worst of that storm is, getting grazed in the Kinsman area. We're going to stay with you on the stream for another handful of minutes, then I'm going to have to get off the stream and get ready for 21 News at 6 p.m. We've got a newscast coming up, of course, in 25 minutes that we have to prepare for. But before we leave the stream, do want to give you a heads up that a lot of wind is coming through Mahoning County right now, centered right now between Canfield and Austintown, but heads up in Boardman and Youngstown. While it's already raining and we have some gusty winds, the worst of the wind overall is still kind of lurking just to your west. Closer to Austintown still. Even though we're seeing gusty winds here and there around Boardman and Poland and Struthers in the south side of Youngstown, the worst of it is still off to the north and west. Let's check back in on that Boardman camera. Just blinding rain. You can see how low the visibility is here. It almost looks like fog, right? This is our Boardman camera, 224 Market Street at rush hour. Blinding rain. Gusty winds, sub-severe wind, but very, very heavy rain. No doubt we're seeing some ponding on the roadways. And, this 224 corridor, as you know, if you're frequently in this area, if you live in this area, there are low spots, parking lots and stuff that oftentimes flood when we get heavy rain like this. Thankfully, everything is moving fairly quickly, so it's not going to rain like this for an hour or anything like that. But in the short term, in the very near term, you can see some standing water, certainly, and maybe some minor flooding in areas of poor drainage with that kind of rain in that particularly susceptible spot that we oftentimes see some issues. Some of those businesses along 224, they have parking lots that flood in this kind of a setup. All right, so that's where the worst of the weather is right now in Mahoning County. We're giving you the clear for the time being in Trumbull County. Over in western PA, really, really heavy rain and vivid lightning in Lawrence County right now. Also getting slammed pretty good in southern Mercer County. I'll keep you updated on social media up in the here in the last couple of minutes, the last 20 minutes or so before the newscast at 6. Be sure and tune in on 21 News at 6 p.m., whether it be on your television or you can stream it on our apps and our website as well. We'll have a full live weather update on both the storms and the heat from earlier today. And as conditions warrant after the newscast, maybe we'll hop back on the live stream, but at that point, a lot of this activity will be starting to push out of our area. But either way, I'll of course keep you updated on social media and the Storm Tracker 21 app. In the meantime, I'm going to sign off the live stream. Have a great rest of your evening, everyone.